The mind-body connection is something that I'm sure many of you have already heard about because a lot of people are talking about it. And the main reason that we have a mind-body connection is because of something called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is actually a highway of nerves. It's not just one nerve. And these nerves send information or send messages back and forth between our brain and the nervous system that runs throughout our entire body. It is this bi-directional communication going back and forth from our brain to our body and our body to our brain that we're always using, even if you're not even aware of it. The vagus nerve is actually our longest cranial nerve, simply the longest nerve that impacts all of our major organs. And it controls all of our involuntary processes, or all of the things that we do or our body does without even us having to think about it, like our breathing, like our heartbeat, like our blood pressure and blood circulation, like our speech, our swallowing, our digestion, our gut health, all of the stuff that keeps us alive without us even having to think about it. Now, when we have a healthy vagus nerve, we can actually bounce back and forth from a stressful or upsetting situation, and then quickly we can recover. We can find our way back to a calm, grounded state of presence. And it is actually the vagus nerve that allows our brain to access the powerful part that allows us to make grounded, rational decisions and also allows us to be imaginative and to be creative. And I'm sure a lot of you listening have probably heard the saying, the body keeps the score. And what this is actually referring to is the impact of trauma or of overwhelming stress and the impact that that has on our vagus nerve. Because when we don't have a healthy vagus nerve, we only have access to the parts of our brain that are really primal, that are survival based, which is why a lot of us struggle to regulate our emotions and struggle to bounce back and forth from stressful experiences, meaning we can't calm down. We never feel at peace for some of us. This chronic survival mode stress state makes us susceptible to physical diseases and to emotional issues like depression, like anxiety, like all sorts of heart or cardiovascular disorders or symptoms, digestive issues, chronic inflammation, and so many more. Thankfully, of course, there are practices that can help us improve the activity of our vagus nerve, or really simply improve our vagal tone. Now, of course, as is often the case, there are no quick fixes. It takes us showing up and practicing these things on a regular basis. Even if it's just 5, 10, 15 minutes a day, the consistency of practice will really make a very big difference. So here are 3 simple practices that you can get started right now to begin to improve your vagal tone. The first practice is cold exposure. Being in the cold activates our vagus nerve. Repeated cold exposure, meaning going in the cold consistently, actually activates or increases our parasympathetic activity, simply our rest and digestive state, our calm state of peaceful, grounded presence, helping us shift out of that survival mode of fight or flight. Even 10, 15 seconds of a cold shower, at the end of your shower, turning it a bit colder, or if that feels too overwhelming, even just placing your hands or your face in some ice water. You want to ease into this practice. Your body is going to react, of course, to the cold, whether it's in the shower or your hands or your face in the ice bath. And when you're noticing the tension, maybe you're noticing your heart rate begin to elevate, you can practice breathing, calming your body down, helping yourself tolerate the discomfort of the cold, and helping your body shift into that parasympathetic state. The second practice, many of you probably have guessed it, is breath work. Breathing in and of itself can improve our vagal tone. The easiest way to practice breath work, for those of you who maybe have never practiced, maybe find a quiet place where you can sit uninterrupted. Some of you might even benefit from laying down, because what we want to practice here is something called deep belly breathing, which is as simple as placing your hand on your belly to make sure that when we're breathing from that deep space. We're feeling our belly inflate and deflate with each inhalation and exhalation, and even just taking 3 to 5 deep breaths, very slowly exhaling. Again, when you're laying down, for some of us, especially if we're tight or hunched in our shoulders, it will help us access that deep belly breath. Practicing slowing your heart rate down, using your breath to do that, and then checking in with your body, noticing how you feel afterward. When we're in survival mode, a lot of us have a habit of holding our breath or of breathing really shallow and quickly from our chest. Those signal to our body that we're still in that stress state. So as we practice slowing, deepening our breath, maybe accessing that deep belly breath, even for just a couple seconds, what we are doing is we're allowing our body to relax. We're sending our mind then the message that we're a bit safer than we once felt. And the third practice that you can begin right now to improve your vagal tone is by practicing awe. Awe, for those of you who have never heard of this, is the feeling that we get when we're in the presence of something big, vast, larger than ourselves that challenges our understanding of the world around us. This could be as simple as being out in a beautiful part of nature, as seeing a sunrise or a sunset, as looking at some beautiful art, or something even as simple as bonding or spending time with our pets. It can even be connecting with someone that we find interesting, getting that feeling that some of us get that we've known this person our entire life. In these moments, we're accessing a state of connection, of safety within that connection. In my private membership, SelfHealers Circle, we actually dedicated an entire month to this concept of awe. And we shared a ton of research of how important awe is and how good for us it can be, increasing our connection to those around us, to the world around us, and increasing our ability to be compassionate. Really simply, every time we experience awe or we have these moments, we're able to feel not only connected, a lot of us are able to feel grateful to be alive, and ultimately our vagal tone increases, shifts, we feel safer, we shift out of that survival mode. So I hope this was a helpful overview of what the vagus nerve is, why it's so important, and of course, how we can begin to create a healthier, more flexible vagal tone so that we can deal with stress and bounce back quicker. I hope these practices help you improve your vagal tone, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever heard of the vagus nerve? Do you have your own practices, maybe some I didn't even mention, that have helped you increase your vagal tone? As always, I'd love to hear from you in the comments.